You know that?
Yeah.
See, normally I'd start with a football thing, but obviously it's mixy.
Yeah, you got to pay respect, man.
Trust me.
I'm prolific, so gifted.
Yeah.
I'm the type that's gon' go.
Carrot Tap podcast with myself, Daps. Lamin's not here today. Spence ain't here today. So we've got two guests. Talk about your podcast. What podcast you got from?
TBG podcast_TBG on Twitter. So we talk about the game as well. We give our unique spin on the game.
What's the actual podcast called?
The Beautiful Game.
The Beautiful Game.
Yeah,
that's what I was alluding to.
Beautiful Game podcast. Obviously, shout out Budge. He couldn't make it today, but obviously we're just sending our love.
Yeah, that's our host. That's our third part of the wheel.
Oh,
obviously, we can't do our show without him. He can't be here today.
I thought you don't do it without him.
No,
He just knits it all together, man.
You don't could do it without him.
No.
Trust me.
If you listen to the show, he connects the dots, you know.
No, trust me. You could do it without him.
If this was off air, I would say that. But because he's listening,
No, 100%. I get that. Because even with us, there's like three of us. But
he's the one that pulls the strings, man. So shout out, Budge.
Yeah, no, there's three of us, but like any given time, I talk the most like this, but if I'm not there, Lamin and Spence could easily hold it.
Yeah.
And but
it's all about collaboration at the end of the day.
no, trust me.
So you got to
know
your team. And
when I'm listening to your podcast, I see that ambience between you lot, man. So I came across your podcast a few weeks ago and I've been hooked on it ever since, man.
I love that.
Pleasure for inviting us.
Don't know why we don't even talk much. We don't talk much sense.
No, but we see you guys as like a reference. You know, we're just entering the game and we kind of see you come up and like, we like what you're doing and you're a reference. So it's a pleasure to be on here.
Well, that's kind of humbling, to be honest. But safe, man. But yeah, guys, keep liking, subscribing, sharing. Lamin's not here because he was on his way. Tire blew out. He's all right, though.
Yeah.
Spence ain't here because... I don't know why Spence ain't here, to be honest. No, I do know why. Oh, yeah. He wouldn't have made it. He had an appointment. He wouldn't have made it. So don't worry, Spence. We're going to give Spence a call anyway. But yeah, like I said, we've got the guys from the Beautiful Game podcast. I'll be sure to put all their stuff in the thing.
Nice
but
one.
Thanks for coming. I basically hollered. I put on my Twitter today when I found out that them lot couldn't come. Who can come, and you lot came with short notice.
Yeah, man.
And a lot of people got back. So those of you who I didn't get back to or whatever, it's not personal. I just picked.
There may be another time as well. So
yeah, no, they will.
Yeah,
like we're trying to get other people on as well, just to like
freshen it up.
collaborate and whatever. But so liking, subscribing, sharing, done that. Where do we start? Kean. You don't heard about all that stuff today, right? The Juventus player.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
The racism.
Yeah.
Bonucci saying it's 50-50, that the fans need to take responsibility and the player needs to. I mean, come on. This is an experienced pro and you're sending that message out. Like, racism is at its peak right now. We're seeing the situation with Sterling and this happens. And again, people look at players as a reference. And when you've got a top pro like Bonucci coming out and saying that, it empowers the fans. So,
but do you know what it is for me as well? Yeah, let me call Spence for this bit. You know what it is? Before a footballer, Bonucci is still a man. He's still an Italian man.
Yeah,
he's still a white Italian man.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say.
So like, you can, we can be like it's his teammate or whatever, but in those moments, like even if you do feel that way, if you had any sort of decorum or anything about you, you will still back your teammate. But by coming out and saying it's 50-50, it just sends the wrong message at all.
The thing is that all this is just going to get brushed under the carpet.
Of course.
It's one of those ones that Bonucci, he's a big figure in Italy. So what he says is going to resonate with a lot of Italians. So for a mouthpiece like Bonucci to come out and say that, it only just sets like a dangerous precedent for the rest of Italy because they're going to follow what he says.
It's giving the fans, it's
100%.
empowering the fans, and I think it's shocking, to be honest. And we're looking for people at the very top of the game to take action. And when you've got players within the game saying that it's, there's progress being made, and this is just a setback in that progress being made, and it's a shame.
Hey, Spence.
That.
What took you so long to answer your phone, bro?
Say that again?
What took you so long to answer your phone?
Took me so long? Oh, no, I was listening to music.
Fam, that's not a good enough reason, mate. What's wrong with you, man?
Oh, what's happening?
Nah, and you're live on the podcast, man.
Oh, okay. Already? Oh, is it that time already?
Yeah, it's that time already. You know when you can't be here, like time flies by, innit?
Yeah, I know. Like, sorry for fixing my car.
But what was I gonna say to you? We got two guys from the Beautiful Game podcast. Say what's good.
What's good, Spence?
What's going on, Spence? You're right.
What's going on, boys? All good?
Yeah,
man,
everything's
we're
blessed.
We're good.
Basically, we're quickly talking about the Kean Bonucci story, the racism.
Yeah.
And I know Ballistic tweeted us today. Shout out Ballistic, saying he wants to hear what you think about it. So very quickly, because I know you're probably gonna have the little one troubling you soon.
Do you know what? It's one of them, yeah, where I mean, it's terrible in terms of, I'm just thinking of the kid. Like, he's just come onto the scene. Do you know what I mean? Mm. It's his first kind of proper engagement with football, and he's subject to that. And then on top of that, the people who are supposed to be looking out for you just kind of hang you out to dry. Well, don't kind of, they hang him out to dry when everyone needs to be coming around him and being well, obviously he's reacted the way he has because of these things that have happened. On top of that, what's he really done? Do you know what I mean?
What's he really, apart from
like,
just play football?
What's he done?
Just play football.
He's played football, he's scored a goal, and he's held his hands up, like to say what? What, like, people do that celebration every other day of the week.
No, but to be honest,
it was in defiance.
Yeah, to be honest, it's because of the which is good. I'm glad he celebrated like that because
but like when if people boo you, you know, like you go back to your old club and then you do that, like to say what?
Yeah, no
you
one
know
says
what I mean?
anything.
It's not an issue, or you're not talking about antagonizing people, which is probably even like that's gonna make something kick off. These men are abusing him. Like nothing to do with football, just based on what he looks like.
Yeah,
skin color.
Even so, he's still actually from your country.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? He represents your country.
Exactly.
But you're gonna do that to him.
What is that until the top brass start taking action and punishing players and fans for doing this sort of behaviour, this is not going to change in the game.
And they're fining these clubs a pittance as well, like cheap fines. Yeah. It's not enough of a deterrent. You need to be making actions and stadium closures, stadium bans, banning people for 10, 15 games.
Banning
you need to
players,
take drastic action to nip this in the bud because it's rearing its ugly head again.
The problem is before I shoot and let you lot carry on with it, the problem why it will never get to that is because it's never going to go. Racism's here and it's always going to be here. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you check it, we've not dealt with it within society. Yep. So even up to the other day, Raheem Sterling gets abused by that Chelsea fan, yeah, and you know that same geezer is cheering him last week or the other week when he scored.
England.
Do you see what I'm saying? So we're always like, look what's happening over there in Italy. It's happening here all the time. All the time it's happening. And the problem is, it's a society thing. Like, for some reason, we just expect football to be different because we love the sport. But why should we? The people who go to watch that sport are the people from within the same society who we know are racist. Yeah. It's not like we pull new people off the clouds and say, you go and watch football. It's the same people, they go and watch football. So why are they going to now change how they are?
Yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying?
And I was saying before that in terms of Bonucci, before he's a footballer, he's a white Italian man.
Yeah.
So like, and we know how Italians are with their whole thoughts and racism and everything. So,
bro, the Italians, even though I love them and the way they play, the Spanish, like the Europeans are the most racist, bruv. Like from history, bruv. Do you know what I mean? Like Italy, from way back when they tried to come and infiltrate and take over Ethiopia. From them times, I knew Italy was dodgy. You know what I mean? But I like football and I like the football players. So
the Eastern Bloc is worse though. Serbia, Ukraine, Russia. You see it there as well.
But that's my problem. Why are we talking about other countries when we can't get our own faculties in this country in
Yeah,
check.
no, but this is
it's a
Because
like I said,
this is
society.
as you
It's
said,
not just happening here.
Exactly.
Because it's happening everywhere.
Exactly.
Like there's no point figuring it out here because
yeah.
it's not
happening.
going
But
to just
do you know
change.
It's
do you know why it's
education.
happening?
It's a
Yeah,
lack
no,
of education.
of course. And everywhere, like look at all the countries it's happening. Yeah, it's countries where black people are the minority. Yeah,
Mhm.
so like even go back to when you was in school, and even though we know it's wrong, people got bullied, and sometimes we was part of it as well.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And look who got bullied. It was the people who were a bit different. Whether that was glasses, whatever it was, funny shoes, funny hair. Those are the people that get targeted. Now you look at it in whichever country it is, England, Italy. Even though there's more black people now, we are still the minority. We are the difference. So we're the people that are getting made fun of and taunted because we are the minority. You see what I'm saying? It's like
Of
a big
course.
giant playground. So can we really expect anything different?
Nah, for real.
Maybe
bro.
we got to just up and go and everyone just represent their mother countries. And it might take a little while, but slowly the African teams will start shining, like club level and internationally, because everyone else will only be left with whatever they've got. Check it properly. Like, look at the top France team. Do you know what I mean? Made up of
course.
Patrick Vieira and Zidane and Desailly and Thuram. You go through the majority of the players. They're not even properly. They're not actually French. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
If
This
everyone
team that
just
won
said
the World Cup, you can say the same about the majority of them.
exactly. So if everyone just says, you know what, like we might take a hit now initially, but you know what, we're going to make a stand because that's the only way it's going to be felt. Things need to hurt
You know what's mad,
the
Spence?
powers that be pocket.
Do you know-
Until people's pockets are not being hurt or touched,
100%.
they don't care, bro.
Mm.
They don't care.
Do you know what's mad, sir? Do you know what's mad? You know, if everyone was to actually just go back and play for their country, you know, you just said like they'll feel their hit in the beginning. I don't actually feel like they would, to be honest, in regards to like the countries, like the African countries. Imagine if all the Algerian players went to go and play for Algeria, all the Ivory Coast players went to go and play for, bro, like they would be like proper competitive, probably better than France and the Englands and whatever. So
No, they will. Like, but what I'm saying is, it might not be like a straight away thing, but a lot quicker. Like an African team would win the World Cup before England win the World Cup again if everyone went back to their mother countries. That's a fact. That's a fact. If you look at all the players, look at all the top players that have come through from different countries, and if they all went back, like the Dutch, everyone, think of all the countries where you've seen top players over the years. If they all went back home, they'd be laughing.
Yeah, no, 100%.
But again, that's another conversation.
Another conversation. Cool. So yeah, Spence, love that.
As always, mate. As always.
Nice one, Spence.
Spence, you,
No worries, boys. Hey, keep listening. Love for coming on as well.
No problem, bro.
No problem. My pleasure.
all right, then, man.
Wicked.
Cool.
Wicked. Take it easy, boys.
Cheers.
Yeah, that's Spence. Hey, shout out Spence, man. So yeah, in regards to that, I think Spence hit the nail on the head, to be honest. It's more, I think John Barnes was saying something like that recently as well. Yeah. It's more a society issue rather than just a football issue. Do you get what I'm saying?
So what's your stance on players walking off the pitch? Do you see that as a progress? Do you think it'll make a difference or?
Walk off. Walk off, because I think now they've tried all of their, fines and whatever. Nothing works. Especially you're finding certain football associations less than what certain men are getting paid. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, do you not know Owen Price?
No.
Okay, Owen Price is a former baller, innit? He's now like coaching and whatever, but he's a solid player. He said it the other day. If anyone racially abuses one of his players or his teammates or anything, he's walking off the pitch. Do you get what I'm saying? And that's the only way they can actually.
So when they do that, what happens? Like, do they replay the game? Do they
I don't know what happens,
or?
but if you're taking away their entertainment, so I'm gonna let you say that. If you're taking away their entertainment at the end of the day, and and it hits their pockets, if you're saying no, we're refusing to play, people will back up their ideas real quick.
Yes,
they might. What it won't do is change like the society issue,
of course.
But in regards to football, it will keep it out of the grounds. If you know that you're going to get fined, and you know that there's not going to be any football for you to come and watch anywhere, your team can be docked points and stuff like that, it will 100% change. Just don't play.
Of course, I fully agree with that. But where I stand is that it needs to come from the manager. The manager needs to be telling his players that if any sort of racism happens, you guys have my backing to walk off the pitch. And until managers start sending that message down to players, I don't think players are going to do it.
Shall I tell you why I don't think that can happen? Because even yesterday, when it happened to Kean,
Matuidi went over to the manager
Yeah.
and said, I want them to come off.
after the match, the manager was saying how pretty much the same thing as Bonucci, like he needs to be smart.
And that's what I'm trying to say.
Whatever. But that's what I'm saying. You're always going to get managers who are going to be like, no, we need to find a more diplomatic way. Because especially because they're not experiencing
it. The problem is that there's not enough top people in jobs that can relate to these black footballers. You get what I'm trying to say? At the end of the day, Allegri, Bonucci is one of his warriors.
Yeah, stalwart. Yeah.
That is one of the pillars of Juventus, Bonucci. So of course the manager is going to back Bonucci. So until we have the top people in the game as people that support black people, we're not going to see change. And it's so sad. It makes me weep internally.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree with that. But, not even that, but if you had black managers at the top, which is what I think you're trying to say, if you had black managers, they know what it's like to be racially abused. They know what it's like, so they can be like, okay,
we
cool.
can relate.
Yeah, we can relate. You know what? I'm not standing for that. But when you're asking white people to do that, who don't know what it's like, so they always pick the option of no, that there's a better option.
Didn't you hear Gareth Southgate the other week? I'm a middle-aged white man, so I don't know how to deal with this. I don't know what to say.
But that's honest.
What he said.
Do you get what I'm saying? That's honest. But if you honestly, if it comes down to the players who are being affected by it, to just be like, nah, I'm not doing this. Walk off. And if he walks off, your teammates should also walk off, because then people will be like, oh wow, okay.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying? But anyway, we'll see. We'll see what happens with that. And I know that Bonucci has tweeted again or something.
Yeah,
like
tried
that.
to.
Yeah,
you know,
he
pacify
said
the
regardless, say no to racism.
It's all tokenism. I've been telling to Dej for so many years. All this kick it out, and
it's all tokenism.
You know, it's just
until we get people at the very apex of the game handing out deterrence. These things are always going to happen, and we're just going to keep having it again. Raheem Sterling, next week it's going to be someone else, then someone else. Then for a week, they'll be saying no to racism, putting out these Fassy Sky campaigns saying no to racism. We've done a survey
the
doing
recent
this.
one that just
Kick it
came
out.
out the other day. Say no to racism when you got the play. It's tokenism. Are they actually nipping the situation in the bud?
Listen,
no, they're not.
One or two ads ain't going to do anything.
It's not going to do
Wearing
anything.
a couple of t-shirts, it's not going to do anything. But yeah, we'll see what goes on with that. But yeah, what team do you lot support?
Support Liverpool.
Both of you?
Yep.
Yeah.
The two
How
Reds.
did that happen?
I just fell in love with Liverpool from a very young age. I don't even remember.
Oh, okay, is that when you lot were like raised in Merseyside? Yeah.
We're London Scousers, but yeah, my story was quite funny. When I was a kid, my older brother used to support United. So my parents used to buy us Man United shirts. Then when I got to a stage where I could understand football, I just clicked to Liverpool. I fell in love with the
How old are
club.
you?
I'm 26.
So you're 26, so...
We haven't seen the glory days, you know.
Yeah.
So no one can, you know.
I mean,
accuse us
I
of
haven't
being
seen the glory days.
hunters.
What team do you support?
I'm Arsenal.
You've seen glory days.
No, for Arsenal.
Invincibles.
No, for Arsenal, not for Liverpool.
Yeah.
I've not seen... I remember Liverpool won a treble. But in regards to the Liverpool winning leagues and stuff like that, I don't
Champions
remember
Leagues 05.
Yeah, but it wasn't. The
that.
glory
Yeah, I remember
days,
that.
man.
But that's not their glory
it
days.
was a
Liverpool
one-off.
glory days, when they think of their glory days, they think of way back.
Winning league titles and stuff like that. So
I actually think they're worse than Tottenham, to be honest. But in regards to
what do you mean worse? In what?
in regards to how much they bring up their history, because they don't win anything, just like Tottenham. But except they win. Okay, they've won
Well,
stuff.
Tottenham won in their history.
They've won stuff more recently than Tottenham. But when last did Liverpool win a proper trophy?
So are you trying to compare Liverpool and Tottenham in size of club? Or
No. Liverpool are bigger clubs than
Okay.
Tottenham. But I'm just talking about in regards to how much they bring up like history or they talk regarding the fact that they're a big club, even though they don't win trophies.
To be fair,
Liverpool
I don't
win
care
trophies.
about all this history. I'm here for the here and now, and Liverpool on a title charge.
Do you not win trophies? Would you say you're a club that wins trophies?
we're a club that's being built to win trophies now. And the mindset
Now.
to win trophies now.
We're
yes.
trophy primed.
And you can see it right now in the title race. It's nip and tuck against arguably one of the greatest sides the Premier League's ever seen.
So if you don't win the league,
yes.
what's your stance on this Liverpool team again? You just think
We
You
go
know what?
again. We go again.
You know
We're on a
what?
good way.
Before Jurgen Klopp, do you know the record at Liverpool? 1 Champions League in 8 years.
I know that. That's something you don't have like of recent like 10, 15
So
years.
who am I to
You're-
call for Klopp's head after missing out to the, in my opinion, the
No, he's not
greatest
calling
Premier
for
League
Klopp's
team?
head, but he's just
Or
saying
questioning Klopp.
Where does
My stand
Liverpool
doesn't change.
So
I think this Liverpool team is the best Liverpool team I've seen in my lifetime. So
squad as well? The
we
depth.
The thing is, people underestimate what Klopp is doing. You got to realise that
I don't know, you know.
the title charge under Brendan Rodgers was just stumbled across. Whereas Liverpool were already primed from the beginning of the season as title contenders. With Brendan, we had a great run and we just eventually found ourselves in a position to potentially push for the league. But this is the first Liverpool team.
What about 09 as well with the Torres
What's the
and
one?
Gerrard?
What year was it when you had Mascherano?
Yeah, that's the
Alonso?
Yeah,
Torres.
that year was
09.
close, but to be honest, in January we faded out a bit, and then Man United took the impotence.
Then we went out with a whimper,
We went
innit?
out with a whimper,
Yeah.
but this is a sustained title challenge, and you can argue that this is the best Premier League team that we're going up against, and it's really nip and tuck. I can't wait to see how it's going to emanate.
And without Liverpool, this season would have been like last season when the title was done by December, November. And the fact that Liverpool have actually kept on their coattails, I think this is credit to Liverpool. So, you know what? It's going to go either way. You know?
Let me clear up my Liverpool Tottenham thing. I know I'll get people tweeting me about that.
Yeah.
Liverpool are definitely a bigger club than Tottenham.
Yes.
But I'm talking more about the fact that Liverpool hype up so much, even though they don't win anything.
Are you talking about the fan base or...
The
No,
fan
you
base.
have every right to say that. You've also got every right to say over the past 6 years, Tottenham have been better than Liverpool. I'm not going to take that away from you. But Liverpool's history and Tottenham's history doesn't stack
It's a
up.
mismatch.
No, but this is what I'm saying, yeah. It don't match up. But when you talk about, like, when you talk about teams who are big, Liverpool always draw for the history.
No,
They always draw for the
That's
history.
probably the fans. Me, I'm about here and now. And I
Okay,
want
fair
this
enough.
title. It's just as simple as that.
It's
Yeah,
exciting times. We're looking forward. We're enjoying it. We're through in the Champions League. We've got Porto coming up in the quarters. We're top of the league right now. City have got a job tonight to beat Cardiff. We expect them to do so, but...
Do you not actually feel you're not going to drop any more points?
I've told Dej all season, Liverpool win the league.
There was a game. I'm a realist. There was a game when we played against West Ham. We dropped points 1-1. From that moment on, I just thought City are going to win it because of that strength and depth in the forward attacking areas. We haven't got that depth. Klopp has to play Mane and Salah every single game and get a tune out of them. There's no one else in the squad that can do their role. Whereas in City, you've got Sane, you've got Mahrez on the bench, you've got more variations.
What's your take on Salah's season?
I think started off slow. Obviously had scar tissue remaining from the World Cup and the Champions League final.
You're laughing.
I think he exploded in December, and that's where we hit our peak form. He hit that height of last season where he was almost untouchable in every game. You almost knew that he was going to score. January, February, March, he's become a bit desperate. For me, still our best player with Van Dijk.
Do you put him as more of an important player than Mane?
I don't get this complex that people have to compare the two. They both play for Liverpool and they're both equally as important.
Oh, fair enough. You think they're equal, but I know a lot of people.
I think Salah is the better player.
But I think Mane is more dangerous.
I think Mane's got more heart.
More heart.
Yeah.
More heart. More
When
heart.
Mane's
When
not
the
playing
chips are
well,
down.
he's still a threat to the opposition. Whereas Salah, when he's having a poor game,
I don't know, you know. I've seen
No,
No. I've seen Mane like.
I fully agree with you. We've had times where Mane stinks the joint.
Yeah.
But what I would say is that one thing about Mane is that he never loses his basic ability to control the ball. Even, it doesn't matter how badly he's playing, he can get the ball and still take on a player.
Whereas, are you saying
The
with
thing
Salah?
is with Salah,
his
when
fundamentals
he's off,
go-
When he's off, he's off.
he starts overthinking. But to be fair, the same can actually be said about Mane, because I've seen Mane have games where he can't control the ball. But I think when Salah plays bad, he plays really bad, but he's still a threat because he will still make the same runs over and over again.
I put up something on my Twitter the other day. Got mad retweets and everything about Henderson. And there was a point against... Who did you not play?
last game, Tottenham.
Tottenham. there was a point where the ball's come out, Henderson edge of the box, he's literally just toe poked.
He's pretending like he can shoot.
Like looped it, and it's just looped off. And I was thinking, this guy is so bad. But as Liverpool fans, he obviously he's your captain. What do you think of Henderson?
To me, he's a token captain. For me, Van Dijk is the proper captain. And I think you're going to see this summer, Klopp's going to weed out him and Milner and make Van Dijk the skipper.
I think
because
I think Milner will still be there. I don't mind Milner.
I think what happened on Sunday was actually a big statement from the manager. He said, you know what, I'm not happy with what I'm seeing. He took off Hendo and Milner at the same time and said, you know, Van Dijk, you're my captain.
Yeah, Henderson, I mean, Klopp made the error. We said this on our podcast as well, that was the midfield trio that started the Champions League final against Real Madrid. And we all saw what happened there. They were getting pulled apart. Gaps were being exploited. And Klopp seems to keep persisting with this midfield trio in the big games. I mean, Fabinho, he's got every right to be disgruntled and not playing. He should be playing with Wijnaldum, not Henderson. And I think the game on the weekend just showed Henderson's liabilities and limitations, and going forward, he shouldn't be a mainstay in this Liverpool team if they're going to win trophies.
And what it is, I feel that with Henderson and Milner, you almost knew what you were getting before.
They're basic Barrys. That's what they are. They're basic Barrys.
You always knew that they're going to run, like, they're going to cover every blade on that pitch. But now, even off the ball, they're getting found wanting. They can't.
They're physical.
Their physical capacities are going down the drain.
I'm going to talk about Milner first. I think Milner is an honest worker. I still think there's a place for him in your squad. Maybe not a starter, but I still think there's a place for him in your squad.
In and around the
because
squad,
he brings that experience and that calmness, which...
calmness? Really?
No, he brings calmness, and it might not always be needed against like the bigger teams.
Okay.
But when you're playing the lesser teams, you can afford to have Milner there.
I think you're contradicting yourself. If it's calmness, you would expect him to play against the bigger teams, don't you think? Because he's going to bring that coolness to the side.
Yeah, but the thing is...
But when I see Milner, under pressure, he's pretty rash.
Yeah, there's calmness, but then he's still not good enough in terms of on the ball for the bigger sides.
I think there's calmness and then there's leadership. I think in terms of creating an ambience within the camp on the pitch...
He doesn't get flustered.
Did you see his mistake against...
No, he's got to make mistakes. But Milner, if there's one thing I think about Milner,
it's experience and
he does not get. He's a model. He doesn't get flustered.
Yeah.
There's not an occasion that can get to him.
It's why every penny you expect him to hit the back of the net. I know Dej calls him Mr. Reliable.
Yeah, no, he is Mr.
Yeah, like a
he is
7
Mr.
out of 10 guy. He's never going to play 9 out of 10.
100%.
You know what you're getting from him.
I feel like he's calm. He doesn't get flustered. There's no occasion that's too big for him, but he's not good enough.
Yeah, the quality.
Yeah, the quality. So against the bigger team,
he might be found out.
Yeah, he'll definitely get found out. But
I fully agree with you.
But there are certain games where if you're playing like a Brighton and you know there's a spell where they're on top of you, you know Milner's gonna keep he's gonna keep his wits about him. He's got the quality there to deal with Brighton.
Yep.
Do you get what I'm saying?
I mean, that's why Man City sold him, because all their top players were coming in. He was just a Mr. Reliable. He's finding himself on the bench.
And he can play numerous positions.
Right back,
That's why I say,
versatile.
I don't think he should start for you guys. I don't think he should be like a mainstay in your lot's team. But I do feel like there's a bit part player for it. Whether or not he wants to do that.
I just have this feeling that if Leeds come up, he's going to want to go back.
Spoken about that, make an emotional return back home. So
if they even want to take him, because the football that Leeds play,
I think he will be a good fit there.
You think so?
Yeah.
I mean, he's definitely...
No disrespect to Milner, he's been a great servant for Liverpool, but I think Liverpool are evolving and he's going to be left behind. Yeah, because he is old.
He's old, but this is what I'm trying to say. Like, he has the quality for Leeds, but the top teams, he doesn't have the quality for. Do you get what I'm saying? So if he's coming up against those teams, you can put him in. If it's Champions League final, let's just say,
he's gonna.
I don't think you should play him.
I agree, fully agree.
Or Henderson. I don't think Henderson is, to me, he's just such a poor player. Anytime there's any sort of pressure applied to him, he just does he just loses it. Do you get what I'm saying? And
even the goal on the weekend, he should have used his brain and blocked the ball off, take a yellow card, use the dark arts, but he allowed Kane to make
That's
that
meant
switch.
to be our captain. Yeah. The captain should be nipping that situation in the bud. Also, he lacks the vertical passing. Basically, it's just a
Sideways,
stopgap.
yeah,
It's
sideways
a sideways
merchant.
merchant.
Yeah, I don't know, but it's that whole thing with when it comes to England and the Premier. If you run and you talk,
No.
they think you're a good player.
What my problem is that Klopp is too loyal to his senior pros, and that could be his downfall.
Do you know what it is with Klopp?
Because
as
if
well?
Liverpool lose this league, it's due to being conservative in the last few months.
That's what I was saying on the last show. If Klopp is conservative, Pep Guardiola is Labour, because they're two opposite philosophies. And if you're going to lose a title race, go out swinging. Don't go out, hissy fitting and worrying, we need to keep the door
Could have
secure.
done more.
Go for it. Go for it.
Yeah, I think there was a game. Was it against Everton?
Yeah, the draw?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it against Everton where
Yeah.
people were criticising him for being...
Pragmatic, yeah.
I said it on our show back on Sunday that Sheridan Shaqiri won the game against Man United, and ever since then he's been in prison. Where's he been?
Is he on the bench?
Yeah, he's on the bench.
He's been on the
making
bench.
squads, but
For
he's
long
not being
figure
used.
on the bench.
Yeah.
What about Studge?
He
He's
doesn't make the
finished.
squad. I think
Studge ain't
Origi's
finished.
finished.
jumped ahead of him in the
Studge ain't
pecking order.
finished. I think Klopp just doesn't fancy.
The thing
Yeah,
is
the
about
work rate.
Studge,
He hasn't got the
there's-
physical capacity to play in the Jurgen Klopp
The
team.
thing is about Studge, when Defoe was coming to an end, can he really do anything outside of the box? I know he's capable of, scoring a potential
Saw that against
screamer,
Chelsea. We saw
but
that
in
against
terms of
Chelsea.
final third combinations, he's going to be found out. He just doesn't have it anymore.
No,
As a player,
it's not
Sturridge
I think,
is quality,
I think
but his
if you give him-
suitability to
Yeah.
Klopp is not there.
Yeah, I don't think he suits Klopp's system. I think that's what it is. I think if you put him in a team who can, like I stated, in an Arsenal, I think Studge will bang
Can't
goals.
run.
Studge can run.
He can't run.
No,
He's not the
legs
same
are
player.
gone.
We've
Studge-
watched him
No.
over 5-6
Studge-
years,
But you know what it is?
You
And the
got
physical-
to
You know what it is?
realise
the
what-
injuries
Yeah.
he's had, fair enough.
and it's
but
in the back of his mind.
yeah, there's that, but you can't. Have you not played football? Like,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
not-
yeah,
So
played it,
you
good.
can't getting games under your belt consistently.
100% agree with you.
You can't downplay that. He can
So
run.
your argument is, if Jurgen Klopp plays him for 10 games in a row, he'll get 6 or 7 goals.
I think if he gets to the point where he's had consistent games,
Yeah.
I think they'll come a point where he'll score. He's a natural
I
ball
think
goal scorer.
the thing is with Sturridge is that he lacks the explosiveness. That was Sturridge's game. And when you take away his key attribute,
I
you're
still
taking
think
half of the player away.
I hear what you're saying. I just think that he still has it in him. Like he's got that thing about him where out of nothing he can score a goal.
No, I fully agree. And out of nothing, he can lose you a game.
I mean, we saw against United, he got a shock start, and he came on early. Did he get a shock?
Because
Firmino got injured,
But
and
do you
he
know
was
how hard
woeful.
it is when you ain't been playing to come in?
Of course,
and then-
there's
and
that
then
element as
do-
well. That's a
do that.
tangible that,
On top of that, in the back of your mind, you know the manager don't really fancy me. He's just putting me. My time's up at this club. Like it's so hard to come in and then do the job.
One thing I do rate Sturridge for is that he's always fought for his place. Every summer you think, this is the summer that Sturridge leaves. But he always convinces the manager. And to be fair, I got to give it to him. You never hear complaining. He's a model professional.
Do you know what it is about him? I think it's one of them ones where he knows if he leaves Liverpool now,
It's only downhill.
yeah, he ain't getting a club
don't.
on
I think he's
similar-
going to America in the summer.
Nah,
Or
he won't go.
Or maybe China.
Nah, he won't.
Get those dollars.
I think he'll go to like a Everton.
Everton,
Or
Liverpool?
no, you know what I said actually on an earlier podcast. I reckon he'll go Leicester.
Yeah, Brendan.
Oh, yeah, Brendan.
Yeah, I think.
I can also see Brendan coming in for Henderson, I can see it.
No, Henderson is so bad.
Yeah,
bro. Like, he's so bad. But
You gotta respect him though for keeping at such a top level, even if it's by default.
no,
He's
you
remained
don't
at
I don't
top.
have to respect
No,
that.
you have to. He's a model.
I don't have to. I'll tell you why I don't have to respect that because like he's not there because of his ability. He's not.
Yeah, but there must be
I
a
don't-
reason why so many managers favour him.
because he's like the typical Englishman.
Yeah, but
Do you get what
Water
I'm saying?
carrier. He's a water carrier.
yeah, but
It's
so is Danny Drinkwater. So is
The thing
Eric
is, I'll
Dyer,
tell you
and
what.
these people are
I'll
struggling.
tell you what. Drinkwater is 5 times a better player than Henderson. None
Really?
of them are really great. But if I had to pick one in my team, I'd pick Drinkwater.
And why is that?
Because
You don't-
Drinkwater can actually play football. He might not be the best. Henderson can't play football. If you think of Henderson, what's the first thing you think of?
Basic.
Barry.
No, I'm not gonna lie. Gareth Barry was better than Henderson. You know that.
No, I think it's basic Barry.
Basic Barry.
You know, basic.
Okay,
Just like the basics.
cool.
I rated Barry. He was a good player.
Yeah, no, Barry was definitely good. But I mean, I think it was a bit much when Liverpool tried to get rid of
Alonso and bring him
to try
Barry.
and get-
Yeah.
to
That
try.
was foul play, man.
You know, that's
Foul
what
play.
got like
And
what
Rafa.
made him go.
Yeah.
Who was it, Rafa?
I
Yeah,
said
Rafa
at the
was-
I'm
time-
surprised by that as well. You know?
I said at the time, if Rafa is going to sanction that deal, he should be arrested.
And processed because
Imagine that.
that is drunken behavior.
That's what I'm saying. Okay, but when you think of Drinkwater, what do you think of?
I don't think Gareth Barry. Because I think he lacks the composure. And let's be honest, that Leicester team made him look better than what he was. His only job was to get the ball and knock it over the top for Vardy. to
None of
run
them
behind.
out of Henderson
And Kante
Drinkwater,
was doing his running through.
out of Henderson and Drinkwater, none of them are good enough. But I would pick Drinkwater over Henderson because he gets the ball and he actually looks to do something. It might not be. He actually looks to do something though.
But to be honest,
Whereas
I've kind of
Henderson-
forgotten what Drinkwater's all about. He hasn't been playing recently. He's been missing.
Nah,
He's gone to Chelsea and he hasn't pulled up any trees. And that's what I'm trying to say. Is he made for a top club?
if Henderson,
Not to me.
if none of them are made for a top club, but if Henderson went to Chelsea, do you think he'd play?
Yeah.
You think Henderson will play?
I don't rate him, but I think he will play.
Not start. He'll
He'll
make
get games.
Yeah.
Nah, I don't.
He will get games.
Maybe-
There's a reason why managers
Maybe it's
keep
because
picking.
of his he's played X amount of games in the Premier League, blah blah. But that's literally it's a sentiment thing. It's not because of quality.
Let me tell you, Henderson, I'm not saying he's got the quality, but I'm saying that there's a reason why managers fancy him.
I don't. Yeah, but managers don't have a clue a lot of the time.
But Jurgen Klopp, he's one of the top managers in the world. So for him to be,
I
put
think
in
that's
the
one of
team-
them ones though. Like honestly, if he could get rid of him just like that,
That's
I think he would.
and that's my problem
I
about
think
staying
he
loyal
would.
to too many players.
Because I think if he comes in and straight away gets rid of, the Hendersons and who else he got rid of?
got rid
whoever.
of Sacco. He got rid of a lot.
Karius.
Yeah, Karius.
Yeah, like if he just gets rid of all of that straight away, you can get rid of certain ones, but to come in to a club and get rid of your captain,
It's always been in a hairy situation.
that's
from the
a
get-go.
no-no. And you kind of see it because in a lot of games this season, I feel, correct me if I'm wrong, Henderson's been on the bench.
Especially a lot, yeah.
Yeah,
A lot
Henderson's
of
been on the
games.
Yeah,
bench.
for a few games, big games as well.
Get me.
Maybe PSG, stuff like that.
Get me?
You know,
So
come
like,
out to the press.
I think when it really counts, but for whatever reason, in certain games like against Tottenham, he'll just come and put Henderson in there, and it's a no-brainer. I think Fabinho going forward is going to be.
Brilliant.
Of course.
To
I
be
think-
fair, you can tell there's
there's
a
a bit of
friction
tension. I mean,
between
when
Henderson and Klopp.
when
he was
Henderson
subbed
came off
Mm.
against United, I mean, he didn't shake Klopp's hand.
Klopp
After
was
the
like-
game,
and Klopp
Klopp
was
was like, "Why didn't you shake my hand?"
Yeah.
This and that. It's
No.
disrespectful.
But I remember that, and I liked it because he's gone off and Klopp's gone to him. He's like, no, shake my hand.
But these are the things that should be, as Dej said at the time, these are the things that should be nipped in the bud in the dressing room. Why are you doing it there?
You're in a title
It's
race.
like an ego
Yeah.
clash.
Yeah.
I hear that. I think as the boss, you got to show that you're the boss at the end of the day.
We all
If
know
that's
Jurgen
if
Klopp
that's what
is the
you wanna
boss.
do.
Yeah.
We all know that.
Yeah. He gets his own way.
I mean, if
The
that's
board
what you got to
support
do.
him as well.
I don't see Henderson staying there for much longer. So next, I was going to say
His days are
something else.
numbered, yeah, for sure.
I was definitely going to say something else. How's that come in my head? Oh well. What else is on the docket? Freestyle. That's it. Ollie at the wheel.
Crashing.
To
Crashing.
be honest, we've been clashing on our show about this. I'm a big Ollie advocate. He's anti-Ollie.
Why? Why are you Ollie advocate?
And I think
Because he wants to marry him.
no, during his spell, he's earned the right to get the role.
Why?
Obviously,
How?
the results. And he's changed the whole ambience at the club. I mean, he came into a club in ruins. I mean, that dressing room was fractured, broken, everything. He's united that. He's a Man United man. I mean, he's a company man. He's like a Ferguson clone. He's not someone to come into a club, up sticks, change the philosophy. People say that Ferguson's managing the club. But I think that's clever because he's buying into the traditions of the club. I mean, Ferguson had great traditions, bringing through young players, stuff like that. And Ollie's continuing that. I mean, the young lad Chung, away at PSG, we saw two of the young graduates come onto the pitch and play a role in that. And they're playing that attacking football.
Attacking football, really, Dej?
Yeah, they are playing attacking football. I think,
No, I
what?
think-
He's earned his right. Let's see what he's going to do.
What you mean is that they're more attacking than they were under.
Yeah, they're attacking. They're attacking.
People are forgetting how dire the situation was under Mourinho.
Yeah, but let's give credit.
His
I mean,
position was untenable for 4 to 5 months. I'm not discrediting Ollie. He's done a good job. Is he the man to take you forward long term? I'm not too sure. I watched the game yesterday. okay, they started off bright for the first 15 minutes.
Lingard should have made it 2-0. That
Should
header
have made it 2-0,
was a
3-0
poor
early
miss.
on. But I've been telling to Dej that you don't up sticks from a plan that you've implemented when you sacked Mourinho. And I honestly believe at the time their prime target was to execute Pochettino and get him out of Tottenham.
Oh, I think that as well. Hence why when Ole's come in, they didn't give him the job straight. There's a reason why they gave him on a
This
temporary.
guy's excuse
course.
is like they
On a
already
temporary
agreed
basis.
a
Look, in a
pre-contract
corporate-
agreement with Mulder.
In a
But what I'm
corporate
trying to say is that Mulder are full of fishermen. They've got no say in this situation. They'll have to submit to anything Man United give
In a
them.
corporate firm, you've got 10 interviewers. And after the third one, you say, okay, this is the outstanding candidate.
Not really.
That's what
Dej.
Ollie's done. He
Not
blew
really.
out all his competition and he deserves the job. He's got the job. Yes, this Man United side needs surgery.
Dej, you
If
know
I
what I'm
was-
saying?
if I was Ed Woodward,
that
I'd be
recruiting
knocking on-
manager is a poor manager. Because what I would do, if I have my prime candidate and this guy's blown me out the water, I'm still going to interview my prime candidate and see who's better
Yeah, but
out
you
of the
know,
two.
Daniel
what?
Levy is the shrewdest businessman in the world.
Okay,
Forget
He's
that.
gonna-
Forget that,
Dej.
No,
I
I
reckon.
can't forget
No,
that.
no,
mate.
Dej.
I can't forget.
I think there's a reason why they've given him that short-term contract, because they were only looking short-term. You know what? Get us out of this funk, and then come the end of the season, because they knew they weren't gonna get Poch during the season. Come the end of the season, we'll go in for Poch or whoever we want, and then
I agree.
and then we'll think. But obviously they've been winning.
Of course.
Obviously,
And it's
they've
about the
been
ambulance.
winning.
The buck falls at Ed Woodward. If he gets this appointment wrong, his job is gone.
Nah.
This
No,
is
no,
the
no.
biggest football
No,
club
no,
in the
no.
world. You can't be
You
giving
know,
out.
Ollie's
you
got
can't be
goodwill
giving
at the
out.
club. He's changed the fortunes of the club. Give him next season.
I
There
think-
needs to be major surgery at Man United.
I think it makes sense. The only reason why it makes sense with Solskjaer, you should just wait till the end of the season, number one. Like
I
it doesn't.
agree.
It doesn't do anything. If you're going to give him the job permanently, it doesn't do anything giving it to him. It doesn't change anything giving it to him now.
I
than
think-
at the end
No,
of the
but I
I
season.
think
think
there was
some
a
of
bit
the
of pressure.
murmurs were saying
But-
that, you know what, he wants to talk signing. So let's, come out, give the fans some granularity, give them some clarity.
I hear
so
that.
they know the situation.
I hear that, but it just doesn't make sense. I think it's the cheaper option to just have Solskjaer 100%, because you ain't got to pay to get Poch out of his contract. And then
They
you
were
ain't gotta
talking about
pay.
a fee of a striker to
Yeah,
get Pochettino.
Yeah, well, if that's what you have to do to get your club back to the top level of European football, then so be it.
I
You know
think.
what I'm trying to
I think.
say?
the
I think
fans-
Ollie's the
I
right
think-
man.
I think the fans forced the issue because everyone wanted Ollie.
Ollie's at the wheel.
Yeah,
I
do
mean,
you know
that
what I
song
mean?
was gaining momentum.
And it's such a, for me, it's an impulse. It was an impulse decision, because you're always, as bad as they were, the only way was up.
There was
You get
always
what I'm
going to
saying?
be that
The only
bounce
way was
effect.
up.
Yeah.
But like, you should have waited till the end of the season and then assessed it properly, because there's no way you can truly assess the situation during the season when they're going for top four, when they're going for Champions League.
I personally think it was the right decision, and every single Man United fan I speak to, they say it's the right decision. We actually ran a poll on our site, and it was a resounding social victory.
I mean,
I-
that must mean that it's true then.
Yeah, but
Yeah, of course.
no. No. But the thing is, of course, the Man United fans are going to say give him the job because they resonate with Ollie. He's a club legend. He's got the goodwill accumulated at the club.
You know what done it for me? It was the PSG game, going away and getting them through. I think that's the day that he won the contract. for
So
that job.
basically, you're saying that he got the job on results.
Yes, he did. And on his future and his history with the club. This is the guy that's, let's be honest, since Ferguson left, this has been a club on a downward curve. Growing up, I always knew United as this winning juggernaut. And that's gone. Yes, they won trophies under Mourinho, but we all knew that's not going to be sustainable. But Ollie is a man in the form of Ferguson that can come in, give him a few transfer windows. They're talking about bringing in Wan-Bissaka from Palace, the right back. They're talking about Koulibaly. Napoli have
Thing
quoted
is,
130
you can talk
million.
about it. You can talk about it.
No,
till
but Man
till
United
cows
have the
come home.
money. Man United have
I
the
hear
money.
that. They also had
to
the money
implement-
last year, and they didn't bring
Yeah,
anyone
it's
in
gonna-
because Mourinho wanted to bring in certain players.
Mm.
Edward Wood said no.
And that was the beginning of
Yeah,
it.
but I
no,
think
no.
that Ollie is going to get that full support
Of
from
course,
Ed Woodward.
of
Yeah,
course.
no.
But as I was saying before, is that again, I
We
said
can
that
only
they
see.
need to appoint a technical director. It needs to be someone internally that knows the club, that encompasses the philosophy of the club. They shouldn't be looking for a big name externally. They should get someone inside and recruit with a vision of pointing Ollie in the right direction.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I think they should have just waited till the end of the season,
I agree.
especially because I think they could have got Poch.
You think so?
I think they could have got Poch.
You got- you
Poch
got
was
to
saying
look at
something.
this.
Poch was flirted.
Yeah,
he's been flirting.
yeah.
He's got head loss.
You got to look at it like this. Like, at the end of the day, Ollie would have signed the contract now. He would have also signed the contract at the end of the season.
Yeah.
So what is the rush to get this deal over the line?
Maybe new signings wanted clarity over who's going to be the man at the helm. And obviously they couldn't give a decision. So they said, you know what? Ollie's going to be your man. This will be the man you're playing under. So I think those are the little factors as well that you need to consider why they made the appointment.
You got to understand that managers are becoming the most important figure at football clubs. So you're saying that there was, murmurs of 50 mil to get Pochettino out. But what Man United need to do, they need to see that like they're buying a player. Okay, we're going to get a world-class manager in. 50 mil, here you go. Come and transform our club.
Well, as I said, I think Ollie's the right man for the job. I've been canvassing opinion from all United fans and they agree. They want to see him get the opportunity. He's going to have the summer to bring in, 3-4 players that they need. And let's see how the journey unfolds because
I think
you know what? He failed at Cardiff.
Do you think it was the right decision, even though... Because for all all the signing of Ole and whatever, they might not make top 4.
Of course.
They might not make top 4. Do you get what I'm saying? So
I don't think you can use that to besmirch Ole.
No.
They were never in the conversation for top 4.
No,
so even if they do finish 6th,
it's not
and they
his
don't
fault.
win the Champions League, you
It's
can't
not his
really...
fault. The thing I'm trying to say is that when you know exactly what you're dealing with, whether you're dealing with Champions League football or you're dealing with Europa, you've got everything on the table, then make a decision. Then you can make an informed decision. And there's no rush. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, it just, for me, like, I can see why you might give him the job, but for me, it just made no sense. Just do it at the end of the season. Like you said, he would have signed now. He would have signed at the end
I
of the
think it's
season.
for signings.
He's someone that's
It's for
happy to be
signings,
there.
commercial reasons.
No, but
maybe
that-
in their pre-season tours.
No,
they
but
want to know
that
who's the
doesn't
manager.
affect
Come on,
anything.
then.
That doesn't
I
affect
think-
anything. Their
I think
pre-season
it's-
tours have nothing to do with who the manager that's there.
Yeah, their
They're
corporate
already setting-
sponsors might want to know who's going to be the manager. They need to know all this piece
Man
of
United
information.
as the club is who. So long as United the club are there, I don't think it makes any difference if Poch is the manager or if
Signings
Well,
definitely
first of
want to
all,
know
I
who's going to
think-
be the manager.
I think he's got a big test on his hands because can he convince Paul Pogba and De Gea to stay? Those are 2 of their best players. So it's going to be,
Do you think Paul Pogba's like a proper world-class player?
to be fair, I'll be honest with you, I'm not his biggest fan. But I get stick every week because I don't rate him.
No, I think he's got all the physical attributes. At Man United, we haven't seen him in his full glory, but I remember watching him at Juve. People might say Italy's a different league, it's slower.
How long has
He's
he been
full
at United now? 3 years.
3
isn't it?
years.
Yeah,
3 years.
The thing, my problem with Paul Pogba, let me recorrect my words before I get pelted online. Do I think he's a top player? Yes. Do I think he's a world-class player?
No.
Not too sure. Do I think he's the best midfielder in the world? Absolutely not.
I saw something about that today, actually.
And that's the problem. I rate him. I think he's a top player.
Someone said,
But do I think he's one of the top?
Oh yeah, they
elite
done a
players?
poll.
I
Is
think-
Paul
I think-
Pogba the best central midfielder in the world?
I think that's outrageous.
Yeah.
And that's where my problem lies. People
It's
talk about
outrageous.
him like he's the best, like he's, a
He hasn't
clone of
even been,
Yaya
he hasn't
Toure.
even been, he hasn't even been the best in the league
He
this
hasn't
year.
pulled up trees in the Premier
He had a
League.
spell when Oli
Yet to be
first came in
convinced.
where he was scoring or assisting every game, but in the last few weeks,
I saw on
his
Sky
influence
Sports.
has
I
faded.
saw on Sky Sports that in the last couple of weeks, his form has just dipped.
Yeah, has.
But to be fair, that's the player Pogba has always been. He's been a form player.
Jekyll and Hyde, yeah.
He has 3-4 weeks of good form, and then you don't see him again for a month, and then he comes back. But because you don't watch the Italian league consistently, you don't see that. You
Yeah.
only see the good parts of him.
No, 100%. Before we go, top 4. Obviously, you're a Liverpool.
Yeah.
You're a Liverpool fan, so you know you lot are going to get it.
Yep.
Who do you see the other 2 spots going to?
Can I say who and why?
Yeah, cool.
So I'm going to go with the 2 clubs from North London. I'm going to go with Tottenham finishing 3rd. I just think they're the best club out of that set of teams. I think Pochettino, I think the game against Liverpool was a turning point for him. Although they lost the game, but I feel that they
They're
showed a
flaky
great...
though. They're always the bridesmaid.
I think they had a great chemistry about them that they're going to
Even
fight
see the
for
scores
this
right now.
to the end of the season. So I think they will make it in 3rd position because I'm Pochettino's biggest fan. And I think, I love the job that Unai Emery is doing at Arsenal. I feel that in his first season,
0-0.
I think at the beginning of the season, everybody said that it will be a great achievement if Emery gets top 4. But I think, to be fair, this Arsenal team, they're up to something. I can see something starting to,
I
to
think
build
with
there.
Arsenal, you can see what Emery's doing,
can see
but
it.
it's personnel that's the
Yeah, it
issue.
needs to change the personnel.
Yeah,
but as you can
it's-
see in the last few games, that defensively they're improving.
But we still, as much as that's
I
what I'm
read the staggering stat actually that you've conceded one set piece all season in the Premier League.
in terms of set pieces, we're actually quite good, and even scoring from corners, we're actually up there as well.
So,
but I think Arsenal's problem under Wenger in the latter years, especially once the defenders he inherited was that we had no shape to us. There's no defensive structure. He's come in now. He's added defensive structure. Yeah. He's added, he's got the midfielders playing in a way where they protect the back four, and so he's added that. So if you change personnel, like get people like Mustafi out of there, it would make a massive difference. Get Lichtsteiner out of it.
Bargo,
That's why you can still see like that Wenger kind of units rears its ugly head from time to time. You know, when they were humiliated by Liverpool 5-1 and they completely capitulated. You're still going to see remnants of that throughout the season. But I think once he gets his own players, he'll be able to put a stamp on that defence and get them defending high up the pitch as a team. And I see Emery doing good things at Arsenal.
That's the question I was going to ask. You?
My top four. Before yesterday, I went for Man United and Arsenal. I just think that Tottenham, they've lost 10 games all season for a top 6 side. That's horrid. Like, they've either been a win or lose team and they've got one draw. But Tottenham, they're on a downward turn. I can't see them picking up the pieces. I'm going for Arsenal and Manchester United. I think Chelsea, if you look at the top 6 and you pick a team that will lose any given game, it's Chelsea. They can lose to anyone. So I think they're out of the running. Yeah. So then it whittles down my opinion to Man United or Tottenham. I think Man United might do it.
Man United.
Yeah.
And just to cut you off, we said, we usually joke about Sarri, but we said Sarri ball was punctured. And when you have a punctured ball, what do? You get rid of it and you get a new ball.
Do you know what's funny though? If, and this is a big if, they stick with Sarri. They can't even sign anyone actually.
And that's the problem.
Yeah, they can't even sign anyone.
I don't think they have the players to implement Sarri's philosophy.
Yeah, they can't.
There's a discord between the fans and the coach.
Yeah, no, forget. I'm not even going to start with Chelsea today. But one thing I did want to talk about quickly, Wolves.
Ooh.
Wolves and how much of a problem they are.
They're a funny team.
They're Jekyll and Hyde.
Jekyll and Hyde. Against the big teams,
but
they caused you problems. I mean, they lost to Huddersfield.
Huddersfield accumulated 6 of their 14 points against Wolves.
Shall I tell you what I think it is about Wolves?
Unacceptable. They can't play against a team that has a low block.
If you go, so if you go toe to toe, if they go toe to toe with a team that wants to come out and play football, I think they can do bits. But when they come up against a team that's literally ready to sit there, and they have to force and break them down, I think they struggle a bit. Do you get what I'm saying?
That's how Wolves play. They're a team that take those half spaces and they're primed to counter attack.
Jimenez, Jota.
When the impotence is on them to take again, even with yesterday was a prime example against Man United. Man United were reduced to 10 men and they were still struggling to control the game because they're not used to doing that on a weekly basis. They're ready to counter attack.
I think Wolves are, and obviously they've got that link with that agent.
Jorge Mendes, Portuguese
so literally all the best players, he just hooks them up. So I think this season coming, they need to get rid of Adama Traore.
I'll rate him.
Nah, man.
I'm not been his biggest fan.
No, I used to like him until
it's just his end product is awful.
Bro, but how long will you say this about him?
He's like a Lamborghini with a learner driver behind the wheel. That's how he can't control.
Just run and run, make the wrong decision, and even when he makes the wrong decision, there's no conviction about it. Do you get what I'm saying? They need to get rid of him.
Even the Bennett as well, the third centre-back. I'm not sure if he's cut out for Premier League football. They've got a decent midfield in Neves and Moutinho.
They need to work on their centre-backs. I think that's what will,
get rid
elevate them.
Bully.
I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of Bully.
That guy,
I think they need to pair 2 centre-backs next to Conor Cody. Have Conor Cody as the ball playing.
Conor Cody,
he's a baller. He can ball.
And then get 2 brand new centre-backs. And
the goalkeeper's solid. Patricio, Portuguese #1, solid. I like him a lot.
But the thing is, my only fear for them is that they may lose Navas in the midfield. Neves.
But to be honest, if they lose him, I got a feeling
Jorge Mendes will have someone else in the pipeline.
Because the players that Wolves are getting, they should not be getting. They've had them. Imagine they had Neves in the Championship.
Yeah.
and you come up and you've got Moutinho to add to.
I think Moutinho's been one of the best midfielders
I
this season.
thought he was going to say.
Brilliant.
I thought he was going to say he's been one of the worst. I was about to say,
he has been so good. He never loses the ball. He's so composed.
but that's Moutinho.
He's got
He
experience.
should have come to Prem
He
sooner.
knits it together
There
and
was times he
paints
was
the
linked with
perfect
Tottenham
mosaic.
within the last 4
Yeah,
or
no,
5 years.
he definitely should have come here sooner.
But
But
what I would quickly say, I can't wait to see Wolves next season. I think them and Leicester and possibly Everton will be battling it out for that 7th position.
okay, I'm glad you mentioned Everton
They're shit.
because I want, as an Arsenal fan, I can't lie, I want Andre Gomez.
I told Edge. I
I
said
think
that. I think he can
he
play in the
suits for
top
Tottenham.
6.
What?
Shoot,
Easy.
And he
I
was
think
like,
he's-
has he got that mentality for a big club?
Obviously,
and
he was at
"Des,
Barcelona.
I said,
I mean, that's a goldfish bowl. You can get swallowed into the occasion.
Yeah, I don't look at that. 'Cause a lot of
Barcelona
players go
is-
to Barca and
it's an environment
It
where
doesn't
you
work.
sink or swim. There's
Yeah.
no middle ground there.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
either
Yeah,
you're
I
a great
don't look
hit
at that.
or you flop.
because Fab was good and then Fab had to go. And Fab's a terrific player.
And
No, I think he's a
Coutinho,
decent
look
player.
at
He can do it.
Coutinho,
Yeah,
Arda
Dembele.
Turan.
Like that's what I'm saying. You got a lot of good players there who just don't. It just doesn't work for them. But Andre Gomez, if there's a way Arsenal could ever get this guy, yeah.
I don't think it will be difficult.
No, but I think
It
there
depends
might
how
be-
much money.
Barcelona
they're
are
asking.
looking to sell him.
Yeah,
They're
but
gonna
it
sell
depends
him
how
this
much
summer.
money.
I think there might be a
looking.
contract binding with Everton to give them that first refusal on the situation.
That's
He's
fine,
got
but
a
if
good
Gomez-
rapport. He's got a good rapport with the manager. Sometimes that can edge them in the situation and make him stay there.
Yeah, no,
So-
I definitely want Andre Gomez. I need him. Who do you lot think you lot need to strengthen?
A creative midfielder, someone like a Fekir. There was rumours emanating last season that we're going to sign him.
Like, he was
But
really
his
close
knee-
to coming.
Yeah,
innit?
his knee.
He done
something,
his
the
medical, but I think there was a
I'm so
discord
happy
in
you
the
lot didn't get
medical.
him.
Yeah, that would have been
What's
the
happened to
icing.
Keita?
That's been a riddle that we haven't been able to solve. Bundesliga, he was a top man there for Leipzig in his first season, second season,
But
last
I've
season.
seen glimpses of him this season.
Yeah.
when he looked
What
alright.
it is that I was saying it on the other day is that you should look at Bernard. I think they're very similar in stature in terms of their height.
different positions.
Bernard.
I know they're different.
Everton
I know they're
or
different
Bernardo Silva?
positions. Bernard from Everton.
Oh, okay, cool.
The way he struggled physically with the Premier League, and I think we're seeing the same thing with Naby Keita.
Yeah.
But I see that Klopp's going to keep his faith in him, and
Brett, we're
hopefully
wrapping
it
up.
comes good.
In about 5. Yeah.
Yeah, I just think that Katie's got the ability. He seems to be like a shy, quiet character. He's been gravitating towards Mane. And I just think next season he's going to come good.
I think it's probably one of them just the first season hoodoos, man.
Yeah.
I think because
Yeah.
when I see him on the ball, I can see there's something there. If it just
Yeah,
clicks.
his vertical
And-
dribbling
and I
is,
think
is
there's-
amazing.
There's a thing with him where he's got to have the trust of the manager as well.
Yes.
I don't feel like the manager trusts him to.
What's the irony behind that is that he started playing well, and then again we haven't seen him since.
No, he had an injury or a knock or something, then he's been out of the fold, came back.
Who
had
was
a
it I was
poor game.
talking to? I think it was last week on a podcast. Or I think it might have been Mayo. Mayo, if it's not you, then cool. Not having Lallana.
Oh, Lallana's finished, man.
Nah.
He's finished.
Come
I think
on.
Lallana's
No.
done.
Come on.
Let me
Lallana's
be
done.
honest. I think you know what you were saying about Sturridge.
Yeah.
I think that's for Lallana.
Of course it is.
He's someone that needs a run of games
'Cause he's
consistently
nothing.
playing.
Lallana's
and
not
maybe he
someone
can get
that's
dangerous
Lallana's
again. He
not
can't
someone
just come in
that's
and
like he doesn't rely on like like you were saying something
Like
explosive and
electricity, yeah, he doesn't.
Lallana ball at his feet.
he's more plays in a
Again,
key area.
I think this Liverpool side is evolving without him. And in the summer, don't be surprised if he leaves the club.
I
don't think he's got... He's got
a place for him.
ability, but
There was
don't
a
see
point
him.
that Lallana.
I don't see him being a
you-
main fixture in this Liverpool
But
side.
Maybe
before
not, but
his
he's an
injury-
option.
Yeah.
Before his injury, like he was 100%.
He was one of Klopp's.
Yeah.
Go
When
to
Klopp
his
came
players.
in,
Do you get what I'm saying?
when
And-
Klopp came in,
And the thing
he
is
was
with him, he's one of those players that needs
Games.
Because with him, like the more games you get, and you're sharp, you're like go both ways. That's how he plays.
So where would you fit him into this Liverpool side?
Don't know, you fit him in somewhere.
I'd rather have him
You fit me.
playing over Henderson over Milner.
But the thing is, both Milner and Henderson don't both play like the same games.
They do.
They
do.
played against
They
Tottenham.
just played the other day, and they
They played
stunk up
against
the joint.
Napoli.
They
They
were
played
awful.
against...
And Ronaldo must have played.
Yeah.
Ronaldo
Yeah, but he's
must-
been a bit...
We've
soft
only
this
seen it
season.
once this season, and I want to see it again before the end of the season. Wijnaldum, Keita, Fabinho. Let's see it.
That's too black. it's too black. They would never have that. But nah, Lallana, I think, and Ox still needs to come back.
Yeah, he's going to be an exciting option. He's got that burst of acceleration that the
Well, let's hope I
Liverpool
still got
central
that.
midfielders...
I can't wait to see how it's going to culminate.
Yeah.
So who do you think? I forgot to talk. Who do you think is going to win the Premier League? Because we didn't get your verdict.
Oh, Man City.
You think so?
Yeah, Man City.
So you see them winning every single game?
I see them win every single game. If they don't, I still see Liverpool dropping a couple points. I don't think you lot can like go the rest of the season unbeaten.
So who do you think is going to make top 4 as well?
Wait. You don't think we can go this rest of the season unbeaten or winning every game?
Winning every game.
Okay.
I still think you'll drop points. Because with Liverpool, there's always that thing where if your front three just have an off game,
100%, I agree.
if they have an off game, that's it. Like you don't really have many goals in that team. Do you get what I'm saying? So I still think all it takes is one of those games.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and then you have a defense that leaks. No, I wouldn't say leaks. I wouldn't say leaks, but there's definitely errors.
Vulnerabilities.
Yeah, there's definitely, if you come up against people who can exploit gaps.
Well, that's with any defense in the world.
Yeah,
you can't really find a fault in
with
this
Matip.
Liverpool
With
defense.
Matip, if you stay away from Van Dijk, Matip, definitely has a mistake in him. If you play Lovren's definitely got a mistake in him. If you play any wingers who can,
There's a young boy, Joe Gomez,
no. But
world-class talent.
No, but Gomez, if he was there,
Then you would say there's no.
Gomez for me is probably England's best up and coming defender.
Yeah, he's amazing. He's an
Do
amazing
you get what I'm saying?
player.
Yeah.
Like, I want him at Arsenal. Do you get what I'm saying? But
I see Gomez as a young
When he's
bootleg
out-
Van Dijk.
Yeah, but
and that's the
when he's
biggest
out-
compliment I can give him.
Oh, very quickly actually. This week Michael Owen was talking. Was it Michael Owen? No, Robbie Fowler. Robbie Fowler was talking, saying Van Dijk is better than Rio was. Yeah.
To be fair, Tony Barrett was saying that Van Dijk is better than Alan Hansen, and he's seen both of them play. So for someone like him to say that means that Van Dijk is setting a level that we've never seen before.
To be honest,
And the only problem holding Van Dijk back is that he hasn't won trophies and he hasn't got the longevity. But if we're looking at it at the top of their games,
No, if you look
there's
at
not many better than
it's
Van
a
Dijk.
nuanced debate, to be honest.
If you look at
because-
them strictly ability, I can see why people might say, oh, yeah. But if you're looking at defenders and impacts and what they meant to the game, there's no... Rio did it.
Of course, Rio's
course
my
he did it,
favourite
but-
defender in Prem history.
It's my
But
favourite player.
As a skill set, Rio we saw have bad. Name me a player, that's
Dijk
given
plays in
Van
second
Dijk
gear.
a tough game. And I'm talking about Van Dijk struggling. Because I can name you Fernando Torres made Vidic and Ferdinand struggle
Okay.
multiple times.
Yeah,
But
but
how many times, like, can you say that about Rio over the course of his career?
And that's my problem. This is where the problem is. I said it's due to longevity and trophies.
Of course, no, of course that's what it, if you're talking strictly quality, like they kind of, match off. Do you get what I'm saying? Like Van Dijk's got everything, Rio had everything.
I said it.
Do you get what I'm saying?
And everyone
I still think
laughed
Rio's
at me.
better.
I said it that Van Dijk, he's a hybrid between Vidic and Rio Ferdinand.
let's be honest, Rio was also playing in a tougher period as well. Van Dijk, he's
And-
head and
and-
shoulders
and I was about to
above
say,
all
Rio
other defenders.
Rio did it
You
at
had
a time
Rio,
where
Terry,
there were
Ledley
other
King.
defenders
Yep,
equally
Yep.
on that
I
level.
don't
Do you get what I'm
think,
saying?
bar Terry, I don't think anyone was really on Rio's level. I love
Ledley
Rio. He's not-
King,
Rio-
Sol
Rio-
Campbell.
what-
There was a
are we
lot
talking
of
about the
them.
Prem?
Come on,
Are we
then.
was
talking
a
about just the Prem, or we talking about in general?
In
Overall?
general, if you look,
Nah,
if you
come
scout,
on.
no, if you scout
in
Europe,
Rio's time, there's bare defenders.
Yeah, but you can make the same argument. Varane, Sergio Ramos.
no, they don't
Varane.
compare.
Of
to-
No, I'm not saying that. I'm
They don't
talking about in
let's be
today's
honest,
game.
No,
Rio's
you can't.
era is more dominant
Yeah,
than Van Dijk's era.
in terms of defenders,
Yes, all
Rio
day, every day.
was he had real defenders.
Yes,
in his
era.
How many top defenders
Van
can
Dijk.
you
I
name?
think
Only
you're
Ramos.
being. I'm not saying that Van Dijk is better than Rio Ferdinand, but I feel you guys are being harsh because no one uses this same argument with their attackers.
No, the point I'm trying to make here, if you're talking about just quality,
Quality, just
if you're
man for
talking
man.
about how
Rio
they're
against
both,
Virgil.
they're both beasts of defenders.
Yeah.
Cool, that's a given. But for me, it's not even close in regards to.
Of course,
Ability.
Rio Ferdinand is a
peak, in their
greater
prime.
player than Van Dijk. But let me ask you something. You know the Tottenham game? I'm not sure if you've watched it. Did you see that 2-on-1 situation that Van Dijk came
Great
across?
defending, great defending. But that's all it was. It was good defending. I'm not
Yeah,
going
but
to be like he's better
but
than Rio.
No, of course. But I wasn't nervous because I knew that Van
I
Dijk was going to
was-
deal
I
with that
was- that
situation.
was very-
I weren't.
I wasn't
knew-
nervous.
I was
there, that's
nervous.
why
I knew
Mm.
if he's got anything about him, he would keep the ball away from Son. And he did it. He did it whilst also making
disturbing Sissoko.
Yes.
Yeah,
And that's why it's crazy.
No, it was.
And someone
really
said that
good
made a
defending.
good point. If that shot was on target, Van Dijk actually blocks it. Watch it again.
Maybe. But regardless, he kept Sissoko on his left foot, cut out the pass to Son. That was really good defending. But
no, but you're right, man. Van
I
Dijk
feel like
needs
Rio
to
would
win.
have done it and got the ball as well.
Van Dijk needs to win these top accolades before you put him
To
alongside
solidify.
John Terry,
Of course,
the Sol
definitely.
Campbells,
But
and the
as a
Rio
player,
Ferdinands.
his abilities stack up there, but you can say Ferdinand is a better player due to the accolades that he's won. And the fact that he was playing in such a tougher era as well, where you had Terry, Campbell, Ledley King. Who is Van Dijk got to compete with in the
It's
Premiership?
cold, mate.
Just Laporte.
And these guys, let's be honest, they can't even lace his boots. Laporte is good, but I rate him as a 7 out of 10 defender. And Van Dijk is a 10 out of 10 defender.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, let me wrap this one up, man. But yeah, guys,
Pleasure.
for coming. Give out your Twitter handles.
Podcast_TBG. My personal handle is Dej_TBG. I just want to shout out Budge as well, the third member of our will.
Man,
He
that
couldn't
big
be
man
here.
use.
So yeah.
Yeah, as Dej said, at podcast_TBG. And the Twitter is, I think Nino LFC or LFC Nino. I can't even remember.
I'll put it in the
Yeah,
thing
man.
anyway. But yeah, guys, next week everyone will be back. Don't worry.
No, pleasure, man. Keep
Pleasure
doing
to-
your thing, man.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying
We
this.
appreciate the opportunity to come on this platform as well. We listen to you guys, so you're doing good things and we're going to keep supporting. So thank you again. And hopefully we can work together
You'll
sometime
come back.
soon.
You'll come back, man. Don't worry. But yeah, guys, keep liking, subscribing, sharing, all of that good stuff. I think that's about it, man. We're out. Later.